Learn and grow your thinking. Social Studies. Primary School Living Examination 1. We should follow the following steps for great results. Roman figure number 1. Read the question or problem. Roman figure number 2. Find the solutions to the question or problem. Roman figure number 3. Circle the letter of the correct answer for all the questions. 1. Which of the following forms of communication is slow? A. Fax. B. Mail. C. Internet. D. Telephone. The answer is B. Mail. Reason being, traditional mail in brackets postal service takes days to deliver, whereas fax, internet, and telephone offer instant or near instant communication. 2. Which mode of transport is commonly used in the motherland of Botswana? A. Air. B. Rail. C. Road. D. Water. The answer is C. Road. Reason being, road transport is the most widely used in Botswana for both goods and people due to its accessibility and network across the country. 3. Which of the following is a physical problem affecting agriculture in the motherland of Botswana? A. Unreliable rainfall. B. Low temperatures. C. Poor rocky soils. D. Floods. The answer is A. Unreliable rainfall. Reason being, Botswana's climate is semi-arid, and agriculture is often disrupted by low and unpredictable rainfall. 4. Which of the following factors slows economic development in the motherland of Botswana? A. Payment of custom tax in the Saku region. B. Loss of civil servants due to HIV and AIDS. C. Poor telecommunications network. D. Increasing population. The answer is B. Loss of civil servants due to HIV and AIDS. Reason being, HIV/AIDS reduces productivity and increases healthcare costs, affecting key sectors like education, health, and public service. 5. How do businesses in the informal sector help the economy of the motherland of Botswana to grow? A. By creating employment. B. By bringing customs duty. C. By paying value-added tax. D. By bringing in foreign exchange. The answer is A. By creating employment. Reason being, informal businesses help reduce unemployment by offering job opportunities, especially where formal jobs are scarce. 6. The Galagadi Transfrontier Park has benefited the motherland of Botswana and the motherland of South Africa by A. Reducing the spread of diseases between the two countries. B. Encouraging the sharing of skills among the two countries. C. Increasing the population of the two countries. D. Reducing crime in both of the two countries. The answer is B. Encouraging the sharing of skills among the two countries. Reason being, the park is a joint conservation effort, leading to cooperation and skills exchange in tourism and wildlife management. 7. How do subsistence arable farmers affect the environment? A. By increasing soil erosion through the mixing of different crops. B. By polluting the atmosphere through the burning of dry crops. C. By dumping chemicals into rivers. D. By cutting down trees. The answer is D. By cutting down trees. Reason being, farmers often clear land for cultivation, which leads to deforestation and environmental degradation. 8. Which of the following would help to promote tourism? A. Advertising. B. Killing of poachers. C. Marketing and selling of ivory tusks. D. Encouraging people to clean their homes. The answer is A. Advertising. Reason being, advertising informs and attracts tourists to a country's attractions, increasing tourism revenue. 9. Cultural tourism is described as an act of visiting A. Other countries to observe elections. B. Places to see the natural environment. C. Other countries to buy traditional artifacts. D. Places to observe the way of life of the local people. The answer is D. Places to observe the way of life of the local people. Reason being, cultural tourism involves exploring traditions, practices, food, dress, and other aspects of a community's lifestyle. 10. Which of the following cultural practices helps reduce the spread of HIV? A. Sayandlo. B. Polygamy. C. Monogamy. D. Traditional healing methods. The answer is C. Monogamy. Reason being, monogamy having one sexual partner, reduces the risk of HIV transmission compared to multiple or concurrent partnerships. 11. Which of the following is an economic reason for preserving culture? A. It attracts tourists. B. It gives people a sense of identity. C. It helps to reduce the spread of diseases. D. It allows for the young ones to learn norms and values. The answer is A. It attracts tourists. Reason being, preserved culture in brackets festivals, dances, crafts draws tourists, generating income and supporting local economies. Use the information below to answer questions 12 and 13. MPHO helps her friend, Leslie, to harvest her field and in return she is given 4 bags of sorghum. 12. Which cultural practice is described in the information? A. Molalitsa. B. Digafela. C. Bagwera. D. Majiko. The answer is A. Molalitsa. Reason being, Molalitsa is the practice where community members help each other with farming work, and the person being helped rewards them. 13. The cultural practice described economically benefits MPHO by helping her to A. Get a piece of land from Leslie's family. B. Get food to support her family. C. Get help to harvest her crops. D. Be part of Leslie's family. The answer is B. Get food to support her family. Reason being, MPHO receives 4 bags of sorghum as a reward, which provides food and economic support to her household. Use the family tree below to answer questions 14 to 17. 14. Who of the following people is in a polygamous marriage? A. Neo. B. Tilotlo. C. Lesego. D. Butimelo. The answer is D. Butimelo. Reason being, Karabo is married to Neo and Butimelo, meaning he has 2 wives. Therefore, Butimelo is in a polygamous marriage. 15. Why would traditional people think Lesego's family has an economic advantage? A. It has fewer people to feed. B. It has more people for labor. C. It has more parents to guide the children. D. It has more children to share inheritance. The answer is B. It has more people for labor. Reason being, Lesego has many children. In traditional societies, large families are viewed as an economic advantage because more people can help with work, especially farming or household duties. 16. Which of the following groups of people represent a nuclear family? A. Lemmy, Bone, Tilotlo and Theo. B. Karabo, Neo, Rhoda and Lesego. C. Karabo, Neo, Busong and Butimelo. D. Butimelo, Rhoda, Busong and Lesego. The answer is A. Lemmy, Bone, Tilotlo and Theo. Reason being, a nuclear family consists of parents and their children. Lemmy, Bone, and Ben are children of Busong and Rhoda. Tilotlo and Theo are children of Busong and Lesego. So the only possible nuclear unit among the choices is a group of siblings living with parents, and Lemmy, Bone, Tilotlo, and Theo fall under one father in brackets Busong even though from different mothers. However, since option A says Lemmy, Bone, Tilotlo and Theo without a parent, it's questionable. But among the given choices, it's closest to a nuclear setup if the question is testing understanding loosely. Alternatively, none of the options strictly form a nuclear family in brackets parent plus children only, but A is best fit based on what's available. 17. How is Butimelo related to Busong's children? A. Aunt. B. Sister. C. Sister-in-law. D. Grandmother. The answer is D. Grandmother. Reason being, Butimelo is the mother of Busong in brackets Busong is below her in the tree, which makes her the grandmother of Busong's children. 18. Why did the British protect Bechuanaland? A. To improve the local social services. B. To promote the Setswana culture. C. To increase their military power. D. To secure the road to the north. The answer is D. To secure the road to the north. Reason being, the British declared Bechuanaland a protectorate in 1885 primarily to secure the route to the north in brackets especially to prevent Boer and German expansion, and to maintain control of trade and movement toward areas like Zimbabwe and Zambia. 19. Which of the following positions wad in the administrative structure of the Bechuanaland Protectorate? A. The Resident Commissioner. B. The Attorney General. C. The President. D. The Speaker. The answer is A. The Resident Commissioner. Reason being, during the Bechuanaland Protectorate period, the Resident Commissioner was the top colonial official overseeing administration. The other roles in brackets President, Speaker, Attorney General came after independence. 20. Which of the following is one of the traditional roles of a Kosi? A. Preaching in all churches. B. Taking care of his people's cattle. C. Arresting people who refuse to pay Labala. D. Being the judge in all the cases trialed in the Kgatla. The answer is D. Being the judge in all the cases trialed in the Kgatla. Reason being, a Kosi in brackets chief traditionally acts as a judge in the Kgatla in brackets customary court resolving disputes and leading the community. 21. Which of the following was a political change that took place in the motherland of Botswana due to colonization? A. Botswana learned how to read and write. B. Christianity was introduced to Botswana. C. The powers of the Dikgosi were reduced. D. Western medicine was introduced to Botswana. The answer is C. The powers of the Dikgosi were reduced. Reason being, under colonial rule, Dikgosi in brackets chiefs lost much of their traditional political power to colonial administrators like the resident commissioner. 22. How is leadership in a traditional ward different from leadership in a council ward? A. A traditional ward is led by a Kgatla whereas a council ward has no leader. B. A traditional ward is led by a Kosi whereas a council ward is led by a councillor. C. A traditional ward is led by a Kosi whereas a council ward is led by a Kgatla. D. A traditional ward is led by a Kgatla whereas a council ward is led by a councillor. The answer is D. A traditional ward is led by a Kgatla whereas a council ward is led by a councillor. Reason being, Kgatla leads a traditional ward in brackets sub-chief under Kosi. Councillor leads a council ward in modern local government. 23. Which ministry is responsible for the issuing of Omang? A. Mineral, Energy and Water Resources. B. Education and Skills Development. C. Labor and Home Affairs. D. Trade and Industry. The answer is C. Labor and Home Affairs. Reason being, Omang in brackets National Identity Card is issued by the Ministry of Labor and Home Affairs. 24. How has the government of the motherland of Botswana made sure that no one is above the law? A. By being a multi-party state. B. By having elections every 5 years. C. By sticking to the 5 national principles. D. By dividing power among the 3 branches of the government. The answer is D. By dividing power among the 3 branches of the government. Reason being, this refers to the separation of powers in brackets executive, legislature, and judiciary, which ensures that no one branch becomes too powerful, maintaining rule of law. The diagram below shows how the government is formed in country X. Use it to answer questions 25 and 26. 25. Which form of government is shown in the diagram? A. Democracy. B. Autocracy. C. Monarchy. D. Military. The answer is A. Democracy. Reason being, the diagram shows that people vote in elections. Elected leaders form a government. The government governs the people. 26. Which of the following countries does not have the form of government shown in the diagram? A. The motherland of Botswana. B. The motherland of Zimbabwe. C. The motherland of Swaziland. D. The motherland of South Africa. The answer is C. The motherland of Swaziland. Reason being, Swaziland in brackets now Eswatini is an absolute monarchy, where the king holds most of the power, and people do not elect the national leadership. Botswana, Zimbabwe, and South Africa are democracies, though with differences in practice. Use the information below to answer question 27. During the apartheid era in the motherland of South Africa, the motherland of Botswana helped refugees who were running away from torture, but she made it clear to the refugees that she will not fight with her neighbor. 27. Which foreign policy was used by the motherland of Botswana? A. Non-alignment. B. Non-interference. C. Territorial integrity. D. Respect for international law. The answer is A. Non-alignment. Reason being, Botswana helped refugees but refused to engage in conflict with South Africa, showing neutrality and non-alignment in foreign conflicts. 28. Which of the following organizations speaks against the ill treatment of indigenous tribes in the world? A. Survival International. B. International Court of Appeal. C. Southern Africa Customs Union. D. Southern Africa Development Community. The answer is A. Survival International. Reason being, Survival International works globally to protect the rights and lands of indigenous people. 29. Which of the following countries is a member of SADC? A. The motherland of Gabon. B. The motherland of Sudan. C. The motherland of Ethiopia. D. The motherland of Zimbabwe. The answer is D. The motherland of Zimbabwe. Reason being, Zimbabwe is a southern African country and a member of SADC, unlike Gabon, Sudan, or Ethiopia. Use the cartoon below to answer question 30. I'm hungry and I can't read or write. Why should I both to vote? First, bring me development. Source: Development in Context, Book 2 by Jeremy Beer. 30. Which concept is displayed in the cartoon? A. Voter apathy. B. Democracy. C. Citizenship. D. Patriotism. The answer is A. Voter apathy. Reason being, the person in the cartoon is disinterested in voting due to lack of development, which reflects voter apathy. 31. Which of the following activities shows good management of the environment? A. Plowing along the slope. B. Dumping of rubbish in rivers. C. Cutting dead wood for firewood. D. Cutting of trees to build a fence for the fields. The answer is C. Cutting dead wood for firewood. Reason being, it is sustainable as it does not involve cutting live trees. 32. Which of the following physical environmental zones in the motherland of Botswana is correctly matched with its main use? Environmental zone. Use. A. Galagadi Basin. Lumbering. B. The Gonzi Ridge. Mining. C. Eastern Hills. Fishing. D. Limpopo Valley. Farming. The answer is D. Limpopo Valley. Farming. Reason being, the Limpopo Valley is known for fertile soils and agricultural use. 33. How does the traditional way of building homes negatively affect the environment? A. The dumping of the grass that had been used for roofing kills living organisms. B. Using trees to fence homes heats up the surroundings. C. The cutting of grass for thatching causes soil erosion. D. Tree cuttings left by builders pollute the environment. The answer is C. The cutting of grass for thatching causes soil erosion. Reason being, removing too much grass cover exposes soil, leading to erosion. 34. It is important to wisely use resources so that A. They are available for use by future generations. B. They are always available to tourists. C. Development is speeded up. D. They may increase in value. The answer is A. They are available for use by future generations. Reason being, this defines sustainability. Use the picture below to answer questions 35 and 36. 35. Which weather element is shown in the picture? A. Rainfall. B. Sunshine. C. Cloud cover. D. Air pressure. The answer is C. Cloud cover. Reason being, the image description mentions clouds, so it refers to cloud cover. 36. How is the weather element shown in the picture measured? A. Through observation. B. By using a rain gauge. C. By using an anemometer. D. Through a sunshine recorder. The answer is A. Through observation. Reason being, cloud cover is usually observed visually and recorded in octas in brackets eighths of the sky. The map below shows the major land use zones in a mining town. Use it to answer questions 37 and 38. 37. Why is the airport located far away from residential areas? A. To make sure that visitors do not see the dirt in the residential areas. B. To discourage thieves from going to the airport. C. To reduce noise pollution. D. To reduce air pollution. The answer is C. To reduce noise pollution. Reason being, airports are usually noisy due to planes taking off and landing. Locating them far from homes minimizes noise disturbance for residents, which is why the best answer is C. 38. What conclusion can be made about the land zoning on the map? A. The industrial zone has been allocated land in the outer part of the town. B. The industrial and residential zones have the same amount of land. C. The largest land has been allocated for recreational purposes. D. The zones are not properly arranged. The answer is A. The industrial zone has been allocated land in the outer part of the town. Reason being, looking at the map, the dark gray industrial zones are clearly placed on the outer edges of the town. This is a common zoning practice to separate heavy activities from residential and commercial areas to avoid pollution and congestion. The table below shows characteristics of different environmental zones. Use it to answer questions 39 to 43. Environmental zone. Characteristic. P. Mainly flat and low-lying land, fertile soils, tall grasses, warm climate, high rainfall. Q. Hilly with many lakes, poor soils, dense forests, very cold winters. R. Flat lands, perennial rivers, warm climate with plenty of rain. S. Steep slopes, poor soils. T. Very hot and dry, few rivers and poor sandy soils. U. Mainly hilly with poor soils, large-scale cattle farming. V. Mountainous area, poor soils and always hot and dry. 39. Which of the following environmental zones would have a high population? A, Q, B, R, C, S, D, T. The answer is B, R. Reason being, Zone R has flat lands, perennial rivers, warm climate, and plenty of rain, all of which support agriculture, settlement, and infrastructure, attracting a high population. 40. Which type of clothing would be suitable for people living in the environmental zone B? A. Long waterproof clothes. B. Short and sleeveless clothes. C. Long jackets covered with fur. D. Long and light clothes with head scarves. The answer is D. Long and light clothes with head scarves. Reason being, Zone B is hot and dry, so people need to protect themselves from the sun and heat. Light clothing and headscarves offer cooling and sun protection. 41. Why would the environmental zone P be ideal for the location of a car manufacturing industry? A. It receives high rainfall. B. It has a warm climate. C. It has fertile soils. D. It is flat. The answer is D. It is flat. Reason being, flat land is crucial for construction of large industrial buildings and transport access, making option D the most practical reason. 42. The climatic conditions of the environmental zone R would cause the vegetation to A. Be tali. B. Be scattered. C. Be mostly cactus. D. Have long tap roots. The answer is A. Be tall. Reason being, with plenty of rainfall and warm climate, Zone R supports tall and dense vegetation. 43. Which part of the motherland of Botswana has the same climatic conditions as that of the environmental zone T? A. The central part. B. The eastern part. C. The southwestern part. D. The northwestern part. The answer is C. The southwestern part. Reason being, Zone T is very hot, dry, with poor sandy soils, similar to the Gulagadi Desert area in Botswana's southwestern region. 44. Which statement shows the difference between internal and international migration? A. Internal migration is the movement of people from one country to the other, and international migration is the movement of people within the same country. B. Internal migration is the movement of people within the same country, and international migration is the movement of people from one country to the other. C. Internal migration is the movement of people between rural areas, and international migration is the movement of people between urban areas. D. Internal migration is the movement of people from towns to villages, and international migration is the movement of people from villages to towns. The answer is B. Internal migration is the movement of people within the same country, and international migration is the movement of people from one country to the other. Reason being, this is the correct definition of both types of migration. Internal equals same country. International equals between countries. 45. Why would old people move from urban areas to rural areas? A. To look for better health facilities. B. To care for the young men. C. To enjoy their retirement. D. To look for jobs. The answer is C. To enjoy their retirement. Reason being, many retirees prefer the quiet, slower lifestyle and lower cost of living in rural areas after retirement. 46. How has the illegal movement of Zimbabweans into the motherland of Botswana positively affected the economy of the motherland of Botswana? A. By increasing shacks. B. By providing cheap labor. C. By reducing the crime rate. D. By increasing the population. The answer is B. By providing cheap labor. Reason being, Zimbabwean migrants often take up low-paying, manual jobs, helping businesses reduce labor costs. 47. Which of the following describes lines of longitudes? A. They are real lines on maps. B. They are real lines showing the boundaries of countries. C. They are imaginary lines on the map running from east to west. D. They are imaginary lines on the map running from north to south. The answer is D. They are imaginary lines on the map running from north to south. Reason being, lines of longitude run north to south and measure east or west of the prime meridian. Use the sketch map below to answer questions 48 to 50. 48. What is the pattern of the settlement labeled S? A. Linear. B. Isolated. C. Blocked. D. Nucleated. The answer is B. Isolated. Reason being, the houses in S are scattered and far apart from each other, indicating an isolated settlement pattern. 49. Why are houses in settlement Q in a line? A. It is not easy for government to provide services for houses that are far away from the road. B. The law does not allow for houses to be built behind others. C. All house owners want to have direct access to the road. D. All houses have to face in one direction. The answer is C. All house owners want to have direct access to the road. Reason being, settlement Q shows a linear pattern where houses are built along the road for easy access to transport and services. 50. Which of the four settlements would provide a better security for its residents? A, S, B, R, C, Q, D, P. The answer is B, R. Reason being, R is nucleated, houses are built close together, making it easier to monitor the area and enhance security. 51. What is a landlocked country? A country bordered by an ocean on one side. B. A country that has no access to the sea. C. A country surrounded by water. D. A country between rivers. The answer is B. A country that has no access to the sea. Reason being, a landlocked country is one that is completely surrounded by land and does not have a coastline or direct access to the ocean or sea. This can make trade and transport more difficult. Use the map of Africa below to answer questions 52 to 58. 52. Which of the following areas would receive rainfall throughout the year? A, Q, B, R, C, T, D, B. The answer is B, R. Reason being, area R is near the equator, which typically has an equatorial climate with rainfall throughout the year. 53. Which mode of transport would be the cheapest to transport heavy goods from Port U to Baidoa? A, air, B, rail, C, road, D, water. The answer is D, water. Reason being, water is generally the cheapest method for the answer is porting heavy and bulky goods over long distances. 54. What type of rainfall is likely to occur around the feature labeled S? A, relief rainfall. B, frontal rainfall. C, cyclonic rainfall. D, convectional rainfall. The answer is A, relief rainfall. Reason being, S is located near a mountain range. Relief rainfall occurs when moist air is forced to rise over mountains, cooling and causing rain. 55. What is the position of the motherlands of Africa using lines of latitudes and longitudes? A, 10 degrees west, 50 degrees east and 30 degrees south, 30 degrees north. B, 18 degrees west, 51 degrees east and 35 degrees south, 37 degrees north. C, 30 degrees south, 30 degrees north and 10 degrees west, 50 degrees east. D, 35 degrees south, 37 degrees north and 18 degrees west. 51 degrees east. The answer is C, 30 degrees south, 30 degrees north and 10 degrees west, 50 degrees east. Reason being, Africa lies roughly between 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south latitude, and 10 degrees west to 50 degrees east longitude. 56. What would be the time in Gweru if it is 2,000 hours in Baidoa? A, 1,800 hours. B, 1,900 hours. C, 2,100 hours. D, 2,200 hours. The answer is B, 1,900 hours. Reason being, Gweru is in a time zone 1 hour behind Baidoa. So, 2,000 hours in Baidoa equals 1,900 hours in Gweru. 57. What is the direction of Lake Victoria from the port labeled U? A, southwest. B, southeast. C, northwest. D, northeast. The answer is D, northeast. Reason being, on the map, Lake Victoria is located to the northeast of the port U. 58. How does the port labeled U benefit the economy of the motherlands of Africa, Botswana? A, most Botswana are employed in the industries within the port. B, most Botswana use the port as their main shopping center. C, Botswana exports some of her goods through the port. D, Botswana tourists get accommodation from the port. The answer is C, Botswana exports some of her goods through the port. Reason being, as a landlocked land, Botswana uses ports in neighboring countries in brackets like Port U, for exporting and importing goods, which boosts trade and economic activity. 59. Which of the following is a social problem caused by the expansion of villages? A, increased noise. B, shortage of land. C, shortage of services. D, decrease in population. The answer is C, shortage of services. Reason being, when villages grow rapidly, services like healthcare, education, and sanitation may not keep up with demand, leading to shortages. 60. Which of the following factors would lead to settlements changing from villages to towns? A, the building of schools. B. The building of shops. C. Availability of water. D. Population increase. The answer is D. Population increase. Reason being, as population increases, there's usually more development, infrastructure, and services. Transition can lead a village to grow into a town.